And automatically, our body comes into a balanced and peaceful resonance, simply by the intention to be in this now moment, to serve, to share your light and your higher heart of compassion and unconditional love. Because it is that part of you, beyond the physical, mental, and emotional worlds. It is that flame. It is that Godhead. It is that eternal light and the sense of infinity. It is that sense of expansiveness and wonderment that somehow is imprinted deep within your subatomic and atomic levels. It moves into the very DNA, the helix, and the codons. It moves into the neural nets, and indeed the very electrical force of ATP that your physical, mental, and emotional body houses. For indeed, the physical body is the temple. It is the home, it is the house, it is the container for something so sacred that transcends the physical body, transcends the mental and the emotional, transcends the gravitational pull of the planet. In fact, it is transcendent, transfigurational, and transcendental. For it yearns, it moves, originates, and connects to the source of all creation. And in the myriad and myriad and myriad of experiences ever unfolding, worlds, creative processes, birth and death and birth again, in this infinitude, this infinity that is beyond human comprehension, but yet a deep, abiding understanding of it all. And so it is in this great expansiveness that we find ourselves as our mental body begins to contemplate the wonderment of it all. As we think back to our childhood, as we think back to those times that we looked at the stars and knew and knowing that was imprinted deep within us that there was so much more that we are a part of. And it is that soul pulse that brings you forward and onward in a great remembering of your origins, and a great remembering of the Ancient of Days, of the very source of the beginning and the never ending of you. And so together in this now moment, we choose to remember. We choose now the intention to expand our awareness and our consciousness, to pierce through the veils, the illusions and the delusions, the miscreations, all the distortions, to seek the truth, the ultimate truth, the one truth of all that is. And on this journey, we acknowledge our family of light, the Ami Shaddai, and all the great celestial beings that have been with us from the very beginning, that have supported us in our journey of unfoldment and the remembering to bring forth all of the experiences of what the material world offers, and to bring that into a higher wisdom, that we too can create other worlds as great Elohims, for the new experiences, for the new wonderment, the new expansiveness, the new growth, And so we come into this divine sacred flow and a grace that flows in now. It flows in through the divine presence of the Holy Spirit. The divine Shekinah Esh, moving in as great tongues of fire, yods, falling upon the heart and on the upper chakra of all who hear this now. See clearly these yods of fire above 6 inches above the head, and see the yod of fire just above the heart center. And see a great yod of fire, a huge one in the center of the earth. And you are the catalyst, you are the vehicle of this three-dimensional experience of this great Trinity triad, of the great illumination, of the great flame of the Holy Spirit. And as you can clearly see this, and see yourself as a great, magnificent, brilliant being, way beyond the earth, that indeed you carry the cosmos within you. And within here in this now moment, you use your mental impression, your intentions, your wishes, your heart's dreaming, and your desires. Because you remember the power that they hold. That your thoughts are indeed things and the building blocks of creation. And with the higher heart of compassion and unconditional love that brings in the movement of the Holy Spirit through the emotional body. And as your remembrance of your devotion, your promise to the great being of Mother Earth, to come and be part of a great cycle of time, to bring in the clarity, to bring in the higher direction and the wisdom, coming in as a child of the earth, to take on her frequency, her body, and yet holding on to the highest flame of the monad, the divine, the one creator, and its movement through the Holy Spirit, through us, around us, and within us. And so this expansiveness now begins to expand in all directions. You can feel the frequency, the higher frequency, the very movement of the grace of God moving in and through and around you, through the divine presence of the Holy Spirit, the Shekinah, the great Shekinah, the great Mother, moving in, moving around, moving through. And as you hold these great yods, these great flames from the highest of the ascended realms, moving in through the Trinity of the flame above the physical head, the flame above the heart, and the flame of our Earth Mother, holding this sacred Trinity, holding it in balance as great sentinels of light. We find our perfect balance and our anchored peace in each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath, as we continue to align and expand in consciousness and awareness, moving into the higher frequencies and the radiance of light, moving way beyond the solar system now, moving beyond the sun, and the sun behind the sun, and the sun behind that, into the new and higher expansiveness of creation. And indeed, we gaze upon in the distance an immense light, the immense filament of light, the great waters, the cosmic waters once again. And we breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath. We hold the sacred trinity, this sacred alignment. We choose to be the great containers of this grace and movement of the Shekinah, this movement of the Holy Spirit, as we hold our positions in perfect balance and anchored peace, allowing consciousness to move, expand, grow, elevate, and radiate. And it cannot be contained, and so it continues to move and expand. As we move and expand in the many dimensions and layers of creation, in all of its expressions of the divine. And we see with us as a great myriad of radiant beings, from ancestors to angelic beings, to great ascended masters, to the most radiant teachers upon the earth and beyond the earth. Our body continues to breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, keeping us anchored, keeping us balanced, keeping us in that divine peace, to allow our consciousness to continue to move towards the great filament, the brilliance of light. And we remember that our capacity to hold light is boundless. We yearn to go to this great living light, to the cosmic waters of remembrance. And we are accompanied by myriads and myriads of the most radiant ones that stay with us and move with us, bring us safely into this most radiant frequency of light, like living waters. And in this radiance, we intend to cleanse and clear and purify all aspects of our beings from that chakra down into the physical chakra, moving through the great yods and now expanding into the physical body, the mental body, and the emotional body, moving into the depths of the great Gaia, Mother Earth, into her central core of that yod flame, indistinguishable, now brighter, more radiant, as attention and intention from her children of light gaze upon it, hold a higher yod of compassion, unconditional love, holding that frequency to the higher yod, connected to the source, the ultimate flame, the eternal light, the limitless light, the one creation. And our physical body continues to breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath. And with each inhalation and exhalation, with each rising of the chest and each falling of the chest in a cosmic rhythm, we flow into the filament of this radiant living light. We simply release into its embrace, into its boundless love, into its eternity, into infinity, as it begins to nudge the various aspects of ourselves, even into the three density world of the physical, mental, and emotional bodies. For there is a great coherence, attunement, and alignment that is unbroken from these yods, holding the sacred trinity, holding the sacred balance allowing divine grace and wisdom to flow in and through the highest parts of ourselves and into the many chakra systems, the dimensions, and the realms of which we are part. And it reaches into the most densest. It reaches into the three density of the physical, mental, and emotional expression. And it is there to heal. It is there to raise and rise, to clear, to balance, to purify and heal. So we flow into the cosmic waters, the radiance of the filament. So long ago, not available for the longest of time. But as the children of light upon the earth rise in their frequency, the accessibility to it is now available. And so we surrender, completely surrender into this loving light, this living light, for it is our nature. This is what is real. This is what we remember. This is who we are. And so we blending easily, gracefully, flowing with the divine frequency of the loving in-breath and out-breath of all creation in this filament of light, in this living light, pouring in through and around us, in our light bodies, connected in the many, many, many myriads of expressions of our singularity as it flows into our physical bodies, our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, held steadied and anchored by the great yodes of light and into the yode of our sacred earth. We are clear, we are understanding that we are expansive, we are magnificent, we are holy creations and have the power to co-create. And we choose in this now moment to bring forth our cosmic memory, to bring forth all of those tools, information, and power that we've always had, and bring it online once again, even as we walk a physical, mental, and emotional world. We remember the expansiveness. We remember eternity. We remember infinity. We remember light. We remember flow. We remember radiance. We remember freedom. So we breathe the physical body, the in-breath and out-breath, aligning for the trinity of the yodes, connecting heaven and earth as we flow into the great radiance of the filament of light of the living waters, bringing back deep, deep, buried memories from the ancient of days to the epochs of time. We now remember and we bring forth once again our cosmic memory, our cosmic powers, the wisdom, the understanding, and the blessings. We breathe the sacred in-breath as our body continues to flow the sacred breath in all directions. as we remember our capacity to hold light is boundless. And as we do, as it filters into the myriad of dimensions and realms of which we are part, moving into the physicality of the physical realm, the three-dimensional realm, gateways now open for the higher frequencies of light and codes to once again flow in. And as it does, it rises not only for ourselves, but for the divine collective and for the great Earth Mother. For this is the divine plan, beloveds, playing this crucial role in a re-remembering of your promises because of the boundless love you are capable of holding, the tremendous light beings that you truly are. But come into this now moment to do this sacred work and continue to rise as the floodgates of memory begin to flow in once again. That's the momentum of your personal and collective ascension begins to accelerate as the great understanding and embracing the great movement of the divine Shekinah Holy Spirit, the very movement of God within you, around you, and through you. And you bring your attention once again to the three cosmic yodes of fire just above the physical head, connected to the ultimate yod, the ultimate flame of the Creator. The yod of fire that is just above the heart, the higher heart of compassion and unconditional love. It is enhanced and it is radiating in higher frequencies connected with the upper worlds. And your connection, your love, your radiance into the very heart of Earth Mother, this divine celestial being that has offered and given so much. And in the great cycles of time, the great rising has started and is through her children of the earth, who carry and remember the sacred flame. And so as you rise, she rises. So we breathe the body, this sacred in-breath and out-breath, ever expanding this divine sacred union of this Trinity, this great power, this great love, this great remembering. And now the thought of the return comes. And as such, the energies begin to step down. And all those radiant ones that have held this sacred platform begin to draw in their electromagnetic field as we know to draw in ours. As this divine grace continues to flow in and through, we will be able to allow that to continue even as it's become more focused and anchored into our physical bodies. This integration and process will continue. It'll continue into our dream state and in the days to follow. With the intention to be back and anchored fully into our physical, mental, and emotional bodies, we will do so on the count of 3. 1, 2, take a deep breath in, and 3, we are back, we are aware, we are very grounded, we're anchored to the earth.